The new Bundesliga club you've never heard of. Unless you're German, or live in Germany, or just a geeky Bundesliga fan like me. Holstein Kiel. Despite never being in Germany's top division since it rebranded to the Bundesliga in 1963, finished second, only 1 point behind the winner of the second division last season. They are the newest club to play Bundesliga football as they face a giant of German football this Saturday. A club loved up and down the country with enormous support. Nah, I'm only joking. They're playing Hoffenheim. Although new to the Bundesliga, they're by no means a new club. This isn't another RB Leipzig who began in 2009. Holstein Kiel were founded on the 7th of October 1900. Like many German clubs, the football club is part of a wider sports club. And from the beginning right up into the 1960s and the formation of the Bundesliga, they were one of the most dominant sides in northern Germany. Now, we've touched briefly on the history of the Bundesliga and the Zweite Bundesliga in previous videos, but it's fair to say that German football has endured more changes to its league system than, for example, English football. After World War II, the western half of the country was organised into 5 regional top-flight divisions, and Kiel would stay in the Oberliga Nord, basically the North League, from 1947 to again 1963 when the Bundesliga started. Not long after their formation, Holstein Kiel would win the top-flight German title in 1912, but again, since the 60s up until this season, they've pretty much mainly drifted between the 2nd and 3rd division. So what can we expect from Holstein Kiel in the 24-25 season? Well, they'll be playing their home games from the holstein-stadion, of course, which, at first glance, you might think is the smallest Bundesliga stadium, but according to Transfermarkt, it's 34 spectators bigger than Heidenheim Stadium. There is a lot to talk about with regards to the stadium, so we'll get onto that in a moment, and if you've not already, make sure you do tap that like button and subscribe for more Bundesliga videos. They play in blue, white and red, literally blue shirts, white shorts, red socks. They've even got obviously a blue home shirt this season, a white away shirt and a red third shirt. Their nickname is Die STORKS, which I think translates to the STORKS. Help me out in the comment section below. I have no idea what a stork is. Mönchengladbach's mascot name, Die Fohlen. I didn't even know what a foal was in English, let alone German. Apparently it's one of those kind of donkeys. I'm going to need my notes for this. Their full name is Kieler Sportvereinigung Holstein von 1900 EV. Now, I really hope, for the sake of the Bundesliga, my 24-25 predictions are completely wrong, because if you haven't seen the video, check it out if you've not already. My Bundesliga predictions has Holstein Kiel rock bottom in a similar fashion to Darmstadt last season. I might have said they're going to be the league's whipping boys, which basically means they're gonna struggle. Now, we always say it with the Premier League, we don't want the newly promoted teams to go straight back down again. Obviously, the Bundesliga is a little bit different from the Premier League, because you've got that third from bottom playoff promotion type battle. But it's safe to say the odds are going to be stacked against Kiel this season. The bookies have them favourites to be relegated. Now, if we just touch on their ground for a bit, the Holstein Stadium, they're in a similar position to Luton Town were when they got promoted to the Premier League last season, and also Como this season. Obviously, they've made their way to Serie A. Holstein Kiel need to make adjustments to their stadium, but this isn't new for Kiel. They've had to do that in the past. All the way back in 2005, the DFB deemed the holstein-stadion to be unfit for purpose, for use, and even the Zweite Bundesliga back then. Back then it was like crumbling terraces, quite typical of German grounds around that time. I'm not dissing them, saying they're crumbling, but you'd have the terraces, the open terraces with no roof, basically in like an oval shape. Since then, obviously, they've sorted out the crumbling concrete. They've created a bit more of like a grandstand kind of feel, covered over and so on. But still, they're a long way off other Bundesliga clubs they're going to be facing this season. So yeah, having to meet Bundesliga requirements, they have actually, as far as I'm aware, been granted planning permission by the local council to renovate the stadium. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have like a Frankfurt-based architectural firm seeing out the work. But I watched a video, it's like a month old. It might have changed since then. They might have settled on a plan. But in that video, they spoke about how there were 3 options, kind of renovating what they've got, keeping a similar layout to the stadium at the moment, filling in those gaps, those sort of open areas in the corners and so on, creating a bit more of a typical symmetrical ground. But then there's also the third option of completely flipping the pitch 90 degrees. There's options going on. Again, as I'm filming this video, I'm not sure if Kiel have settled on any of those options, but apparently work is to begin next autumn in 2025. So they've got a bit more time than, for example, Luton and Como. I'm not sure how long Como have got, but Luton had to get work done there and then for the new season last season. So I've been browsing Wikipedia, as you do, and as I check my notes, I've seen that, again, according to Wikipedia, Kiel as an area has a population of 246,243 people. It is right up there in the north of Germany. It's like an hour north of Hamburg, an hour drive. I think it's like 56 miles north of Hamburg. So you've kind of got water. They've got history with boating and that sort of thing. It seems like a lovely place. It's a place I definitely want to visit this season. We might be in the kind of north area in October. I need confirmation because I'm struggling to find tickets. Obviously, I've got options with Bremen. I wanted to check out St. Pauli. Doesn't seem to be possible. Seems mission impossible to get tickets to St. Pauli. And of course, Kiel and all the clubs around the kind of north area of Germany. Now again, this is quite a spur-of-the-moment video. I was just doing research on Bundesliga clubs. Of course, I've mentioned I've done my Bundesliga predictions for the season, and not knowing much about Holstein Kiel, I thought I'd do some research on Wikipedia, on YouTube, on Transfermarkt, and so on. So I thought rather than just learn, why don't we learn and make a video at the same time? So some of my information might need tweaking, but there we go. That's why I've made the video, guys. That's a little bit of info for you on the Bundesliga's newest club. How are they going to get on this season? Let us know in the comments below, and hopefully we're going to get to the Holstein-Stadion this October. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Again, subscribe for more Bundesliga content. We're going to be back to English football this weekend as we head to Villa Park to watch Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Next week I'm off. We've got loads more English games and so on. So if you're not necessarily a fan of German football, but you like the English stuff, we've got a balance of both. Check out some of the videos on screen, and I'll see you in one of those videos.